Welcome, my darling pretties, to our Beyond the Dawn of Business podcast for pretty, empowered female entrepreneurs. It's time to step into your power, pretties. Lift each other, support the squad, and choose a life filled with the autonomy and freedom to live your dreams. I'm your host, Dawn Beth, owner and founder of Beyond the Dawn digital business brand and agency. My coffee is hot and my eyelashes are on, so we are ready to go. Hello and welcome to this episode. Today I want to talk to you about something that you may be ignoring in your business, something that you probably know that you should have, but you may not want to be shedding much light towards it. Maybe it's a bit of a scary subject for you, or perhaps it's something that you're procrastinating over, or maybe it's just something that you haven't got round to and you don't really know how to structure. That's right, pretties. Today we're going to talk about a marketing budget. Having a budget in your business is something that you need to do. You need to have a budget. You need to have a good understanding of your overheads and what money you need to make to be able to put profit and cushions and lovely, stable, secure scenarios for your company going forward. But with that in mind, we often think about overheads like rent, utilities, equipment, possibly even wages if you're thinking along the right lines. But one of the main things that gets missed by small businesses and fantastic solopreneurs or even entrepreneurs that have been in business for a couple of years and have a freelance team is the marketing budget. And this is somewhat of its own epidemic. And I believe that that's because we are in a situation now where we actually have more free tools than ever in regards to our visibility. It has never been easier and there has never been less gatekeepers to being able to get out there, get seen, get known, get heard, get understood. It doesn't matter whether it is a TikTok video, a Facebook status, a group that you are in, a podcast that you guest on, an article that you write. There are 100 different ways for you to get out there and market your business. So with that being said, we kind of recognise that there are free ways to do it and that there's never been more opportunity to make money than there is right now in terms of being able to do so online, which is great and it's wonderful and it's liberating. But there needs to be a moment where you have a look and you scope out your business and recognise where there is potential bleeds, leaks, or areas for massive improvement. Now, one of the first questions that I ask when somebody comes to work with me on a consultation basis is where are you at? What kind of situation do you have when it comes to your budgeting and specifically your marketing budget? And quite often I'm met with, well, tell me how much it costs and I'll let you know if I can afford it. Or give me a rough idea of the ballpark and I'll try and find that money from somewhere else. Or even occasionally I've had clients come to me who have said, I don't have a budget. I'm just hoping to do it as cheap as humanly possible. When you think about all of the people who are known for greatness and you think about what happened for them to be known for that greatness, it's a little bit concerning for us all to believe that we are experts in marketing just because we have free social media accounts, or we know how to make a Pinterest pin, or we can record ourselves vocally just like I am now for podcasts. The truth of the matter is that as everything evolves and as things move on, so does marketing, so does visibility, so does the opportunity for you to gain leads and clients into your company. These things, although the tools that allow them might be free, the skills and expertise to execute them with excellence are not. And nobody should be expected to just inherently know what they need to do with their marketing to be able to make their company a success. That's not to say that if you have a personal flair, or if you have a talent in this area, that you should deny it. If you were born with a talent for this and you're just good at it and you don't know why, that's wonderful. Ride that talent and do everything you possibly can and save money where you can in that area. But the truth is that the majority of business owners believe that they're doing really good marketing, but actually all they're doing is posting occasionally on Facebook. The way to a really good marketing strategy, and the way for you to rig the game in your favour, is to recognise that there are skills and expertise that are outside of your own knowledge. And I don't even mean that if you're the type of person who's grown yourself an Instagram following, great. That's still not a full marketing strategy. You may have an audience of 200, 300, 400,000 people. That's just an audience of a certain group of people. That doesn't mean that those people are ideal clients. That doesn't mean that you have a direction. It doesn't mean that those people will purchase from you. Unfortunately, marketing is not one of those scenarios where you can just throw a ton of mud at the wall and hope that most of it sticks. You have to make sure that the mud is the right consistency. You have to throw it at the right wall. And that is where this idea of not having a budget can really hinder your opportunities for growth. So, for businesses that don't have a budget for anything, it's totally understandable to not have a marketing budget. But for those businesses that perhaps are going through an area of personal growth, where the CEO, founder, director, or owner is buying courses and workshop days and one-to-ones and masterminds and all of those types of things, but not associating a penny of that towards their actual marketing strategy, that can be pretty brutal for those people when they come to the end of those courses, when they come to the end of those workshops, those masterminds, those memberships, and recognise that actionable steps to some degree have still been missed. In that jigsaw, there's lots of pieces there that weren't there before, which is great. There's fantastic learnings, but there's some key areas that means that actually the entire picture is still not yet shown. It's hard for us when we know that there are so many businesses out there that have exceptional things to give and are not being recognised purely on the basis that they're not being seen by the right people. And when the answers are quite simple, which they very often are, it's a shame that that energy and focus and direction hasn't been put into that area. Because we can see that gap, we can see the holes. If you're the type of business that you recognise who it is that you want to work with, you've made sales before, or you've got people who are on the cusp of buying from you, you have a really good understanding of your values, your mission, your brand, you know you need awareness, you know you need an audience, and you're kind of ready to get going, but you don't know what to do next, then I'm speaking to you. It's very, very simple and easy to reach out to somebody like me, somebody who has an agency or an agency like ours, and ask for support. But that support will never be given to the right degree without there being an investment from yourself. So I want you to consider your budget. I want you to consider the things that you're paying out in your business right now, and perhaps take a pen and piece of paper. If you're driving or listening to this podcast when you're doing other things, then just come back to it another time when you're not, and fast forward to this bit, and make a list of all the things that you're paying out in your business, all of the money out, which again is something that I very rarely will ask you to do, because I want you to focus on the money coming in for your money mindset. But this is a good little exercise, and I'll just ask you to do this once because it will be helpful forever. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down on a piece of paper, maybe bullet point it, every single thing that you do that is an overhead that costs you money, okay? And then go through that list, and I want you to put a little star or highlight or do something to make it known out of all of those expenses, which ones have the opportunity to give you a return on investment that either covers their cost or will provide you with much more money than the cost of them. you'll notice that when you do this and you look at your outgoings and you look at your overheads and you look at the money that you're paying out for your business to run, that actually marketing is the one that has the biggest opportunity for you to not only cover the cost, but make profit on those actions and investments that you take. Okay? Now, if you come to me and you say, Dawny, I only have a £300 marketing budget for this quarter, that's okay. I'm not suggesting that you need to compete with the bigger brands. When you look at other brands that are bigger or have been going longer or have a turnover that is a higher number than yourself, they're always going to have more resources. You cannot compete with that. What I want you to do is come to me and say, Dawny, I only have £300 for this quarter. What would be the best way for me to spend that £300? Right? Like, how do I get the most out of that £300 and turn it into £600 so that the next quarter I have a £600 marketing budget? How do I turn that £600 into £1,200? How do I turn that £1,200 into over £3,000? Okay? How do we do that? How do we snowball this so that you get bigger and that growth is sustainable and it is consistent and you don't exhaust audiences, you build great audiences? How can you actually do that? You have to start with something. You have to make smart choices. And one of the smart choices is recognizing that marketing is something that you should be investing in. Now, there are lots of fantastic marketing courses out there. And if you want to learn it yourself, and I always suggest having a really good understanding before you hire anybody else in or you take any other kind of consultation, because it is good to know at least a little bit about what you're hiring or what support you're actually bringing in. But unless you're planning on being the marketing manager for your own business forever, you could quite easily be going down a rabbit hole of an area where, rather than learning it for yourself, that investment would be best placed in somebody who already knows it. It might be best placed with a freelancer who finds it really, really simple and easy and more efficient for them to do more work in that area that they know and love than you would take spending and learning a course, for instance, for you to then have to force yourself to implement that on the basis that you're saving money. But are you really? We make money within efficiencies in our systems and processes. And one of the scariest things that can happen to us is recognizing that actually it's time to delegate. It's actually time to pass over the control to somebody else and allow them to support us in a really fulfilled way. And that can be tricky. That is something that stunts a lot of businesses because we don't want to give up control or we don't want to spend that money. We might be in a scarcity mindset. We might be really scared that that money will never come back to us. We might have made bad choices with money in the past and might be second guessing ourselves as well. It's all entirely possible. But if you can give yourself the grace to recognize that everybody needs help sometimes, and that if you can recognize that moment of delegation as a power move, and that you can let go and relinquish the idea that your success is levied on that delegation 2 or 4, that will helpful. That'll be helpful for you. That'll be really helpful. Because if you delegate and it goes wrong, that doesn't mean your business won't be a success. And if you delegate and it just goes okay, that doesn't mean that it will fail or will be a fantastic success. But if you delegate and it goes really well, it might actually support your success. And that's what you've got to look at. The time that it takes for you to do something for somebody who might understand it, know it, live and breathe it, might be so much quicker. It could be 25% of the time that it would take you, which is 25% of the investment in money, because money and what your time spent is all relevant. So do that little exercise, make yourself that list, recognize the things that you've put on there that actually have the potential of covering themselves or making you more money, and give them a little bit more focus when you're building your budgets. And if you only have £20 this week to put into your marketing, what could you do with that £20 that would be really impactful? How could you turn that £20 of marketing into more? Okay. It's okay to start off small. It's okay to not have a £3 million marketing budget. But what it's not okay to do is deny that you need a budget. Deny that you need marketing. To think you can do it all yourself and you don't need the experts and you'll figure it out. Because you could be figuring it out for the next 3 or 4 years. And then think about that. What do you want to earn each annum? And then how much will you have lost by being the person who tries to figure it out, rather than just having the support from somebody who can help you now? There are lots of ways to do marketing well in a smaller container with accessible investments. Look for memberships. Look for subscription services. Look for the masterclasses that are one-off payments. You might only have £47 this month, and there might be a wonderful masterclass that will support you with something that's just £47. Our Instagram Glow and Grow course is exactly for this reason: accessible support. Are you going to want to do your own Instagram forever? Probably not. At some point you'll come to an agency like ours and ask for a social media manager to take it off your hands because you no longer have time to build the content, the strategy, figure out what kind of reels need to go out, figure out where your ideal clients are and how to find them. You don't have time to engage with everybody and you're going to need some help. But right now, you might not even understand all of the different districts that there are on Instagram. You might not even understand where to find that first ideal client. You might not even know what I'm talking about when I use the term engagement. So look for the areas in your knowledge that require some support with those smaller budgets. Don't put yourself on a 3-year marketing degree because you think that that's going to be better than outsourcing it, unless that's what you want to do, unless that's what you're really passionate about and that's the seat that you want to sit in your business, which for so many of you it won't be. But give yourself the grace to learn the bits or to put that small marketing budget into good use. And then perhaps consider how you can build that budget, how you can save. What if 10% of every single sale you made went into a marketing budget saving bucket? What if every single time somebody invested in you, you took 10% of that energy and put it back into the potential new client, so that you're throwing a rope from one client to the next by using that as part of your marketing budget? It's all really good food for thought. If you do one thing for me today, Prettie, don't ignore it any longer. Consider it, think about it, and if you've got the opportunity to, build it. Because budgets, and especially marketing budgets, do require your focus and your attention and will make a massive difference to the success of your business. If you're loving our Prettie podcast, come on over to Social Pretties, our online safe house and sisterhood community. It's a safe space where female entrepreneurs connect and thrive in a warm, welcoming fold of pretty amazing women. You'll find an easy redirect in the description, and I can't wait to see you in there. And depending on where you're listening right now, we would love it if you would click subscribe or follow so that you can be the first to know when our new podcasts come out.